Hello everyone! Today I want to talk about a cartoon that might look silly and simple at first glance, but actually hides a lot more meaning beneath the surface. The creators of the amazing world of Gumball often slip little Easter eggs, subtle hints, and even social satire into their episodes, things only the most attentive viewers will catch. Sometimes it's just a funny joke, or a quick pop culture reference, but other times it's a direct commentary on what's happening in the real world. Take, for example, the episode called The Candidate. The title alone already tells you it's going to be about elections, and from the very first minutes, it's clear that this won't just be a simple school story, it's pointing to something much more serious. In the plot, the school is hosting a party for the parents, and while the adults are invited into the main hall, all the kids are locked together in another room. At first, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but then the temperature inside the room starts rising every minute. This leaves the kids trapped. The door is locked, and the only food they have is a small amount of cookies, which quickly turn into a symbol of limited resources. And as the heat rises higher and higher, the metaphor becomes obvious. The world is running into resource limits and escalating global problems. It's in this pressure cooker situation that the creators show how different types of people behave when it comes to elections. Anais, Gumball's younger sister, immediately suggests the most rational option: divide all the resources equally.
We need to apportion our resources equally,
so that everyone gets their fair share. She represents the kind of leaders who try to think logically and offer fair solutions. Idaho the Potato basically repeats her words, but presents them in a way that makes it sound like he's speaking on behalf of the ordinary people. And then there's Banana Joe. Banana Joe is just something else. He claims that the door can be opened, even though it's obviously locked. His argument? According to some sources, the door is locked, but according to my reliable sources, it's open. Sound familiar? This is a clear parody of fake news and people who choose to believe in it. Next comes Claire. She insists that the cookies should be sent to the disappearing trees of the Amazon rainforest. At first, it sounds like a ridiculous joke, but in reality, it's a critique of those who, during elections, derail the discussion by bringing up issues that sound noble, but don't actually solve the problem at hand. Darwin is especially interesting. He keeps reminding everyone that the temperature is rising, that they're facing a real danger. This is a direct metaphor for global warming, something many people prefer not to think about. The other kids ignore him, just like in real-life society often ignores the climate crisis. In the end, the kids realize they need a leader, and this is where the most important part begins: the actual election. Two candidates step up. Anais, who represents knowledge and reason, and Tobias, who embodies the figure of the old, wealthy, and overconfident candidate.
Vote for me, and I'll keep everything for myself.
Just like in real politics, some offer clear plans, while others simply rely on charisma and status. But the most interesting part begins when Gumball himself suddenly jumps into the race. His approach is completely opposite to Anais's. He doesn't offer any real solutions, he simply says, "I'll just tell you whatever you want to hear." He even comes up with his own slogan. And most importantly, he's charismatic. He's not smarter, he's not more honest, but he knows how to win over the crowd. Anais tries to get her point across, speaking sincerely and from the heart.
please. This is serious. Vote.
But it doesn't work. In the end, it's Gumball who wins because he plays on emotions instead of facts. And right after his victory, the entire society inside the room collapses. The resources disappear, chaos grows, and the real problem, the rising temperature, remains ignored. This is where the core message of the episode comes through. The creators are showing that in elections, it's often not the truthful or rational candidates who succeed, but the ones who know how to adapt to the crowd and say whatever people want to hear. It's a direct commentary on the world we live in today. It's also important to remember that this episode was created during the time of the 2016 US presidential elections, when the main battle was between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Of course, the creators never directly stated that they were parodying those elections, but the number of hints is hard to ignore, and that's exactly why The Candidate remains one of the most unusual and most mature episodes of the amazing world of Gumball. This has been me, Kubir, and thanks for watching.